So I wake up this morning. Um, it's about 5:30, and I'm just lying in bed, feeling blessed, and kind of laughing to myself, thinking how just a few nights ago I have a 9-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son. So my 9-year-old daughter, she's like, "Is he being, a bitch?" I'm like, what? A bitch. Or is he being an, ASSHOLE? And it was just funny because she's like literally spelling all these different bad words. And my son is like, and he's catching on, right? Like, he's 6, and he doesn't even know it's like his alphabet, so not all of it, right? And you can imagine, so you start guessing all the swear words. Are you saying I'm a bitch? Are you saying, and I was just thinking, like, how funny is this? That I'm kind of at the spot with my 2 kids, and I guess one of them is learning how to swear, the other one just spelling it out. And of course, this is completely inappropriate, by the way. So if all the mom that's listening out there, I'm not laughing out loud, just internally, and I did tell them both to stop, because you can only start swearing when you start working, because really life is amazing for you right now. There's no need to swear. You're not releasing any type of stress. But yeah, no, I was just thinking how amazing and that my 2 kids are, and how just sort of at this moment, like, I just feel blessed, right? Just to have 2 wonderful kids, even though completely having an inappropriate conversation, but just being happy that they are with me, that they're healthy, and then they're happy, and just overall it is a amazing moment right now. But of course, it has not always been that way, right? It has there was a time where I would say it was really stressful, where your children, they're not considered a blessing, but maybe even a little like of a huge burden, right? And I think in my last podcast, I was talking about my son. I was talking about how at the time we really just wanted one child, and unexpectedly I was pregnant with him. But but sort of more to that story, why it was, I guess, at the time a blessing in disguise, should we say? Like, we bought a house in a great neighborhood, but the problem is it's a huge fixer-upper, right? It is I remember when we were bidding for this house, there was 2 other bidder, and they're contractors, and we're the only family who would bid in this house, because at this point we have already bid on at least, I would say, oh my gosh, 10 houses, and we have pretty much lost all the bid because we weren't willing to pay pretty much $100,000 above asking. So I'm in the Toronto area, and if you live in Toronto, actually even any major city, maybe you guys are aware of that, like, where just the housing market is ridiculous. I mean, maybe not so much right now, but at the time, I would say 10 years back, it was, you can't really afford to live in Toronto, or I should say you cannot afford to buy a house in Toronto. But this house was in the neighborhood we wanted, because it was close to the subway station, close to my mom, and it was a great school, and we're like, oh my gosh. And it was not overly big, so we know we're not going to be wasting a lot of money on utility, but it wasn't so small in that, it was perfect for a family of three, right? So anyways, we bid on this house and we won, and not because we outbid the contractor. It's because we have a photo album of the family, and the owner of the house, we found out, was a very old man, on his deathbed, pretty much, right? He was in the hospital, and yeah, and he said he raised his family in this house, and he want another family to live in this house, and I guess sort of create that same memory, right? Very sentimental. And to be honest, that was probably the best advice our real estate agent gave us, right? To have a family photo. And yeah, and it worked, and we saved, obviously. I think the next, at the time, the next contractor that sort of, bid on the house, like we he pretty much bid $70,000 more than we did, right? So yeah, so we saved $70,000. You think about it, on a photo album. So that photo album was a great investment. But obviously, so that was a great win for us. But what was terrible was that this house was a lot more work than expected. We ran, as usual, right, with renovation. It went over budget, and it took a lot longer than they quoted us. Yeah, so pretty much how big this reno was, we literally just kept the wall of the house, and everything inside was fixed. Like, there was a fire in the house a few years back. Even though we were worried about even the floor, like, it's, we don't want it to collapse underneath us, so that needs to be replaced. And it was open concept. We took out the walls with a lot of supporting beams. So anyone who's going through rentals, they know that, those are huge job, and that's sort of a lot of your money, get kind of sucked out. And of course, on top, so what do you have? And then near the end, my contractor is like, hey, we don't want to work on your house anymore, we're gonna go somewhere else. So you can imagine there was a lot of stress with the reno. And then on top, so I started a new job. And oh my gosh, this company, not only are they a slave driver, but I would say the lady I was working for was just, she treats you like you are a robot. She doesn't think you need to eat, sleep, or even rest. Like, work, and of course, when she interviewed me, she sounds amazing. So unfortunately, right, I accepted a job with a terrible woman. And then that's when, like, a few months in, I got pregnant with my son. So you can imagine, oh my gosh, you kind of have this reno as a backdrop, right? So you go home to stress, and then when you are working, you're working with a crazy woman, and then you found out you're pregnant. And you can imagine, when I told her I was pregnant, she was upset. I can understand why, though. I can, right? But at the same time, she's like, so did you plan this? And I was like, why would I plan getting pregnant on just getting a new job? And also on top, this job is a contract. Like, who gets pregnant on a contract position? Doesn't even make sense. I told her it can't just happen. And then she kind of gave me that, like that sort of like awkward silence, like you don't know how the birds and the bees work. But if any one of you out there who try to get pregnant, the timing is never quite like that. Let me turn off this, because it's like distracting me. Where is my mouse now? Hopefully I need to figure out how to edit this out later. The sound. If not, that's okay too, right? Here, let me just make sure Just no more distraction. So, so, as you can imagine, like that was very tough for for me especially, right? And and then I just remember at the time feeling just like, oh my gosh, could thing not get any worse? And then, and even sometimes you wonder, do I even deserve this? Why is God being so mean to me? Like it is like, like I think it's not that life has been a walk in the park for me. So it's not like I don't know what it feels like to have a bad day or even just a bad few weeks, right? But it's just one after the other. You start to think that you might be cursed, right? And then, and I just remember thinking like, it was too much, like I don't know what to do. I don't know why it's happening to me. And you stop blaming, like, I would say the world, right? For just kind of giving you like a shitty hand. So I guess, so then you're wondering, okay, Anna, what is the point to all this? Like it just, you're just one bad thing after the other kind of thing. So really, what is the point? Like why? I would say to myself, like to my younger self, you need to figure a way to solve the problem you're in. Complaining about a problem is not going to solve a problem. If you word the problem in a way of, okay, this is a problem. What am I going to do now? What is my next step? You need to word it in a way that you can get out. It is never a circular, sort of like a circular problem you're in. There is a way out. So what did I do? I mean, I wish I said this to myself a lot, like maybe a few months earlier, so I don't have to like suffer. But so when my reno went over, what I did was put a pause on the reno. We only reno what is absolutely needed. At the time, we needed a kitchen because we need to cook. But some of the other cosmetic stuff, we're putting a hole on it. Like I know at the time I wanted nicer doors. But you know what? Doors from Home Depot, they're just fine to close, for the washroom and such, right? I remember, I wanted the house to be painted, right? But, you want to pay a professional painter. You know what? We can do that ourselves. And I think that was the weekend I asked my cousins and my brothers and my dad and my uncle to help paint the whole house. I mean, it's not perfect, but it is a lot better than having dry wall paint, right? So those are the. So I mean, there's a few others there, right? And then and what I was short, I took money out of my saving to cover what we were short in reno. And so with the job, it was causing me a lot of mental stress. Like this woman was obviously not appreciative. Like even before I got pregnant, I was working 10, 12 hours and she just expect that. And the thing is, it's not like everyone in the company worked that way. A lot of them leave just at 5 and I was the one staying till 9 at night. She doesn't care. So obviously I cannot work for a woman like that. I cannot work for a place like that does not appreciate what I'm contributing. And all she sees is, oh, you got pregnant on me, like as somehow I did this out of spite. Anyways, I quit my job knowing that I am pretty much 6 months in, and in 3 months a baby's gonna come out. But at the time, it was too much. Like, I mean, I am shocked that Morgan even came out not an angry psychopath, right? He is a happy individual. But when I was pregnant with him, I was working for a terrible, terrible woman, like she was probably one of the worst boss I ever had in my life. And I have worked for quite a few places. And then, yeah. And then you know what? then things start looking better. Then everything after start falling into places, or the house was looking great. um I get to sort of enjoy my time with my daughter when I was pregnant. Since I was not working, you reconnect with yeah, so like my family, so my husband and I get to calm down more, right? Because now one of us is at home, sort of taking care of just at the house, right? Like I said, like the rental, Tyler, cooking, cleaning. So then when he comes home, it is not another big stress ball that he's entering. And so I would say, you know, to my younger self, continue saving. It is the fact that I have saved my money since I first started work. It gives me a lot of flexibility. Like I can walk away from my job, and then when I needed money, like I said, for the rental, I can take money out from my savings and pay for it instead of, sort of going to the bank and asking. And that's just more work. And like I said, we already did, and we already maxed out our bank loan for the rental. So be prepared for the winter. Make sure, like, it's not every day is going to be amazing. Not every day you're going to be in bed, lying with two kids, and sort of kissing and hugging them, reading a book, and one daughter's spelling out swear words and the other one's guessing the swear words. Like, those moments, as amazing as they are, but like anything in life, they're just temporary. But you can also say that about, so the bad days, they are not permanent. They are also temporary. But you just need to make sure that you're ready for them. You're ready for them, so they are, of course they're temporary, but then they're not so long that you can't get yourself out. So really, that is sort of like my lesson to myself, right? Like to my younger self. Just endure when it's tough, but enjoy when it's great. Like, it is all temporary. And just be ready. Actually, even be ready to enjoy the moment, right? Like sometimes, I think that day, I remember when I came home, I was having a great day at work because I accomplished something that was relatively tough and I made it happen. And then I had a great conversation with my husband. And then, so by the time that, I was talking with the kids, I was in a great mood. And I was just thinking, if I, if I had a bad day at work, I don't know if I would enjoy that conversation so much, right? But obviously, you have to enjoy those moments because they don't always happen, right? There's gonna be times where you just hate everything in your life, and yeah, and then you feel like it would never end. No light at the end of the tunnel. It's just darkness all around you, and then you're like, okay, am I gonna be stuck in here forever? So yeah, be good to yourself and enjoy. I think that's all I have. Oh my gosh, it's an 18-minute podcast. I was aiming for this to be 15, so I guess I'll have to edit some of this out. But okay, so I guess I'll talk to you next time.